So guys, we're going to talk about false expectations of life and how this will ultimately bite you pretty hard. And there's levels to false expectations of life. We've all had some. I've had some in the past. And getting wake-up calls is the best thing that could possibly happen for you. But here's the thing. If you have a completely delusional outlook on life and you think that it's going to be like so easy and magical and happy all the time and all this kind of stuff, and success is going to be easy, and you're going to have a lot of friends and a loving family and a perfect partner and success, like all these things, bro, you are in for a shock. That is not how life is. That is not how life is going to go. And the quicker you realize that, the better things will be. I genuinely believe there's so many unhappy people in the world because they have false expectations on life, on others, on success, on so many things. They think things are going to be easier than they are. I'm not going to lie. I thought having a very good partner in life was going to be a lot easier than it ultimately was. Because I know me and the value that I have. You think it's going to be easy because of it, but that's not the only thing that counts. You could be the most valuable human walking on earth and you could still struggle because it has no correlation. You still need the perfect match for yourself. That's not easy to find. That's not easy to come across. So if you have these false expectations, and as you keep living life, those expectations don't get met, that's when a lot of suffering starts. That's where a lot of unhappiness stems from. So you almost have to kill those expectations you had and create new ones that are far more realistic. There's 200, 300-pound women out here, bro. They think they deserve a $500,000 a year man who's tall, rich, successful, dominant. Do you? Something just ain't adding up. The numbers, bro, are too high. Something just ain't adding up. You might want to drop those numbers a little bit and get out of your own way because you're in your way. That's not coming to you whatsoever. So that's, men and women both do it, bro. People create their own misery. There's dudes in high school. They might have had success with some of the prettier girls in class and all this stuff, and they just think their life is about to go this way, and they got this great looking girl, and oh my God, like they're gonna be together and they're the man, right? Look, they're walking around with that chick in school. Look how cool they are, bro. They're the guy, right? All of a sudden, grade 12 ends. Dumped. Whole world comes crashing down. Bro loses popularity and everything goes to shit. Life starts to get real hard. It starts to get hard for them financially because they're young. They don't have the woman in their life anymore, so it's not as good. It's not as fun. Life is no longer good. They don't have the love in their life anymore. Men have to go through tough times. Men have to suffer a little bit. So having these false expectations like everything's going to be so perfect and oh man, I'm just the guy, right? I got the girl, I got this. Bro, I don't care who you are, you can never get too comfortable thinking you have it all, thinking you have it all made. Because it can all be taken from you like that. That's life. That's why you can't rely or depend on people, because it can all be taken away from you. Somebody can wake up one day, somebody can tell you they love you the day before and leave you the next fucking day. Welcome to 2024 and beyond. It might not have been that easy back in the day. It's this easy today. So we are stuck in a world where we have no choice but to value ourselves over all else. We have to make sure we're on point. We have to make sure we prioritize our well-beings, our happiness, and come together. Because at least then, if things fall apart, you still got you. But if you're in this codependent, toxic relationship, and you make them the center of your universe, you put them before you, you start to get weak, you start to turn into somebody you're not, and it all falls apart. They take a piece of you and run. You don't feel like yourself anymore. You feel like your whole world just came crashing down. Guys, there's so many different reasons as to why so many people is unhappy today. Like, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. People think success is going to be easier than it ultimately is. People think they're going to start something and it's just going to work out and their dreams are made and they're going to make money at it, doing it, and it's not going to be a struggle, and they're not going to have to work their asses off and make next to nothing at first. Maybe even for a year or two. Like, bro, this is the reality of life in a nutshell. You can either accept it and get better, stronger, more resilient because of it, or you can choose to live in la la land. You can choose to live in your delusions. And guess what? It might not hit you so hard right now. You might comfort yourself in the time being and think you're going to have it all made and all this stuff. You might give yourself that false hope. It's later down the line where all this stuff is going to come back and hit you on top of the head like a ton of bricks. Like when Kevin McAllister off Home Alone was on top of that house and he threw that brick down at Marv, smacked him right on top of the head. So what's going to happen? You're going to get hit. And it's going to hit. So it is up to us to wake up. And those who are not awake will suffer tremendously. For those of us that are awake and understand that life is not to be played with, we will ultimately be happier because we live in reality. We actually get life. There's those who get it, and there's those who don't get it, and there's those who think they get it, which means they don't get it. You have to actually get it. You have to actually understand life is not all magical. Life is not all sunshine and lollipops. It can be a dark place, but you have to understand how to operate in the darkness. We're not saying there's no light. We're not saying there's no magic, because there is, but there's also darkness. And you have to understand how to operate in the darkness. You have to understand how to live a hard year. You have to understand that those times are coming for all of us. And one day, our own lights will be shut out. We will be out of here. This is reality. And it's not that we want to think about just the hard times all the time. We want to be present. We want to be doing our thing, but we have to be aware that, you know what? Good times are great. all the light, all the magic, all the happiness and the bliss is amazing, and we want the most of it out of life, but we have to understand that hard times can come, and we have to be equipped during those times to endure those times. We have to be equipped at those times to endure those times. And if we're not equipped and our heads are in the wrong place and we think nothing like that could ever happen, that's where the brick hits you upside your head. And it's a wake-up call, and what can you do? You can wake up and you can learn, and it can make you stronger and more resilient, and it can humble you. Or you can choose to ignore it and not grow and keep living in delusion. And that's when your life becomes stagnant. Nothing changes, nothing happens. Just more struggle. You're not living in abundance. And it's going to be tough. You're going to make your own life tougher than it has to be. We make our lives easier by pushing ourselves through the toughest times. We don't become stronger and become better by not pushing ourselves through those times. We must. We must see it for what it is and push through. And that is what's going to make us who we are supposed to be. And that is what God wants. He wants to strengthen us. He wants to give us the tools to where we can live a good life on earth. That is what he wants. He doesn't want us to suffer more than we have to. He will put us through things to actually make our lives better. We have to go through some suffering, but some people live unnecessarily, bro, and they just put themselves through more than they need to. And that's because they stay ignorant. They stay not learning. They stay the exact same. In fact, they keep getting worse because they don't want to live in reality. They refuse to. They think life is supposed to be great all the time. These people end up so miserable, bro. So miserable, so depressed. Because they actually think every stage of life should be so fun and amazing and so loving and all this stuff. We could only wish we could live in Disneyland, where it's that all the time. It's just, bro, that's not life. Earth, life, reality can be dark. And we have to understand how to maneuver in that darkness. The people who don't, which is a lot of people on earth, that's why so many people on earth is unhappy and just don't get it, bro. They just don't get it. And I just feel those types will never get it. But those who do will do real good. Those who don't, you're in for tough times. And you will be in over your head. Those types have to learn how to embrace the suck, but they don't. They don't embrace it. They just almost ignore what needs to be done. And keep living in their little pleasures and all this stuff, and they're just shying away from every opportunity that they could actually grow, but they're just hiding from it. They just want to smoke a joint now. They just want to smoke a cigarette now. They just want all these good feelings, and they're just hiding and avoiding all the bad things that we have to face. That's going to make us fucking stronger. That's the thing. Some people, bro, have such bad health they can't even show up to a gym without taking a fucking panic attack. What do you think? You have to face that part of yourself to push through it. We can't just not do it. We have to go through it. We have to feel a bunch of hard emotions and stuff, and we have to push through it. I just went to a funeral yesterday Actually, by the time this video was done being made, might be 2 days ago that I was at the funeral. But real tough. Real tough. Real tough to see the things that I saw at that funeral. Lots of people, lots of family, lots of sad people. It was very overwhelming, to say the least. Very emotional. You're taking on all the emotions and sadness from everybody else. The whole building is just this depressing feeling of claustrophobic depression, and it's just everywhere. You're just almost fighting to not start crying yourself because it's just like overwhelming. One of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life, by. And that's something else, you know. That's adversity. That's life. We have to face life. We cannot shy away from everything and think we lived. We are here to grow. We are here to be our best. And if you shy away from life, and if you shy away from every little thing, that's the biggest mistake of your life. We're supposed to face tough times. It's going to make us better human beings. And that is a fact. So, this is my take on why so many people are so unhappy. It's just the delusion. It's people having false expectations of people. I even used to think when I was younger that people was going to be better than they were. I had false expectations on people. You grow to learn what people are actually like, and you make the adjustments. I always knew success was going to be hard, but not as hard as it actually is. But then again, it's easier than you actually thought. It's a weird thing. It's just different than you thought it was going to be. So there's all these wake-up calls that you experience, and it's up to us to embrace that and to take it as it is, and not what we thought it was going to be, but rather take it at face value for what it actually is. That's going to help us grow. And it's on us, bro. Nobody else. We have to feel things for ourselves. We have to see things for ourselves. We have to have the right judgments about certain things. Nobody else can do that for us. That's why I believe some people just got it in life, bro, and some people never will, because they're that stunned. It's like they're not even smart enough to just get it. Like there's something about them where they just can't. And that's insane. Like, your brain is just not all there. Your brain is not that smart. But if your brain is smart and you're naturally an intelligent person, you should be able to get things in life fairly easy compared to a lot of people. And I would argue if you're not that intelligent, you should probably spend more time learning and studying and applying things that's useful to life to help you grow. Because that's where you need to be. You need to grow. And that's where you're going to have the best, happiest, most fulfilling life. Not living in delusion where that's going to slowly kill you bit by bit, year by year. So, yeah. I hope this video could help wake some people up, even more people. And that is it for this evening. We'll see y'all guys in the next. And with that being said, God willing, God bless. And we'll see y'all at the top.